What's happening, everyone? My name is Aaron, and thank you all so much for taking the time out of your day to check out this video. Tell me if this scenario sounds familiar. It's early spring, the lakes are getting hammered with rain, the fish are pre-spawn, and they're biting moving baits. So we're throwing spinner baits, chatter baits, lipless crankbaits. It seems like everything we're throwing, they're biting. And then all of a sudden, about a month later, our power fishing bait is gone. So water's cleared up, the fish are just not biting like they were, they're on beds, they're guarding fry. What do you throw in that situation? I know for myself in that situation, a lot of times I'm throwing a Senko and I'm throwing a jig. Those are my go-to when the fish kind of get locked on beds. That's what I like to throw in order to find fish. But what power fishing baits do you use? I know some people will use a swim jig. I like a swim jig, but I don't love a swim jig. Well, I'll tell you, in the past couple months, I found a bait that has really grown on me, and it's actually something that I've had for a little while, but it's something that I'm throwing a lot more, and that is this bait right here. So that is a glide bait, and more specifically, a G-Rat glide bait. So if you go to Tackle Warehouse, you can search that, or you can also search Sneaky Pete, which is what it was known as before, and it will bring you to that page. I'll go ahead and link that in the description as well for you guys so it's easy to find, but that bait has completely changed the way that I've been fishing the last couple months. So like I said, most of the time during this time period, especially right now, I'm throwing a jig and a Senko, and the power fishing bite just isn't there. Well, I'll tell you what, with that glide bait, the power fishing bite has been completely on for me lately. It's been completely incredible. That is a cover glide bait, which means you don't really fish it in open water. So we're not throwing it over long tapering points, over rock piles in 15 feet of water. What we're doing with that glide bait is we're targeting specific targets. So lay down trees, steep rock bluffs, those sorts of things we are targeting with that glide bait. And I have had phenomenal results the past couple months. I've just been absolutely shocked. I've gone past the laydown and casted a jig multiple times and maybe pulled a couple fish off of it, tossed the glide bait in, ran it over top, and pulled one more fish out of it, if not a bigger fish out of it. It works for largemouth, it works for smallmouth, it works on lakes, it works on rivers. It just works everywhere and gets the job done. Now that color itself is actually discontinued now. So the closest color to that is pike minnow. And the way you want to fish this bait, guys, is you want to always keep that bait about a foot above your cover. So whatever you're throwing it at, you want to keep it about a foot above it. So if you're fishing a log or a laydown that goes into the water and you want to fish it over top of that laydown, if that's in 6 feet of water, what you do is you actually let the glide bait sink down to about 5 feet and then you start working it. And when you work the glide bait, all you have to do is get a nice, slow, steady retrieve. So that's all we're doing with this glide bait. Every now and then, what you're going to do is you're going to add a couple little twitches into it. So every now and then you'll go steady, twitch, twitch. Steady, twitch, twitch. So I'll make a more detailed video on how to fish that. The most important thing right now is telling you about the bait. And like I said, this works really well in those clear water situations where those other power fishing baits are not working. So I like it in overcasty conditions. I like it in a little bit of a breeze, but really it doesn't matter if there's a breeze on the water or not. And the great thing about a glide bait is a lot of times you won't get that commitment from the fish, but you'll know exactly where they live and exactly what quality of fish live in that place. So that's another reason why the glide bait is really good. For the gear I'm fishing this on, I'm fishing on a medium heavy with 17-pound fluorocarbon. So that's another great thing about this bait. As you guys can see, it has massive treble hooks, just really big trebles. You can throw it on a heavy rod, or you can throw it on a medium heavy. I know most of us anglers have a medium heavy casting rod. That's what I throw it on. I would say in terms of weight, it's probably about 1.5 ounces to 2 ounces. So it's a little bit heavier bait, but I just throw it on my standard jig rod and I've had phenomenal success with that. So if you guys want a lure that's only $20, you want to get into glide bait fishing, I highly recommend it. Like I said, I'm going to link down below that bait to Tackle Warehouse. And that is a phenomenal purchase. Now, I know $20 for a bait to some people sounds incredibly expensive, but good quality glide baits go for $80 to $90 to $300, guys. They're very expensive. Now, if you're a bank angler, I can understand hesitating in the purchase, but if you're a kayak or a boat angler, I highly recommend buying this. It's going to be very unlikely that you lose the bait, and I've had this bait for years. And like I said, every time I've picked up this bait, I've caught lots of fish. So I don't know why in my brain, I don't think about glide bait. But from now on, whenever I go fishing in these months in the summer, there's not a lot of breeze on the water. It doesn't seem like a good power fishing day. I'm throwing the glide bait, and I highly recommend that you guys throw it as well. Thank you all so much for taking the time to check out this video, and I cannot wait to see you guys in the next one.